leading the pack, that's P1. And we're in front of Russell, Norris and Leclerc. The fastest lap at this point in time is a 1:15.1. Sorry, we can't provide you with that information right now.
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top three today. Daniel, Russell and Lando Norris. With qualifying wrapped up now, we have our grid lineup for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race. Well, today's venue has a full name that is perhaps lesser known than its informal one. So today we're at Imola, or to give it its official title, the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo Edino Ferrari, named after their legacy. A beautiful tribute at a beautiful circuit. It's time, everyone, for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. 3.1 miles of track at Imola featuring 19 turns, 9 to the right and 10 to the left. Remember that Imola differs from most other Formula One tracks as it's taken anti-clockwise. Let's hope nobody forgets that today. The exit from turn 18 will probably be the setup for many of today's overtakes, leading as it does into the longest straight on the circuit and its only DRS zone. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Daniel lines up on pole position, and starting next to them is George Russell. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Leclerc, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Albon, Iwasa, Novalak, Doohan, Vesti, Yuri Vips, Richard Verschoor, Williams, Liam Lawson, Stroll, Magnussen, Sargent, Oscar Piastri and Esteban Ocon lines up at the back of the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. And with me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Daniel. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Here we go then, the formation lap gets underway and the excitement here is building as we near ever closer to the start of the race. Which team will come out on top? Who's got their strategies right for today's race? Well, we'll soon find out. We're almost ready to start the race as the cars take their positions on the grid, with the drivers and teams making their final preparations.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. Russell has just put up the fastest lap of the race so far. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 12.8 seconds. Push now, we're boxing this lap. Gap to your teammate behind is 18.2 seconds.
And away we go, no problems, really smooth. Ferrari, no doubt, very happy with that stop.
Up to speed now, let's get some heat into those tyres. battery charge is high. Let's use that overtake button a bit more. Oscar's coming in for his stop now. Our gap to the car in front is 10.4 seconds. Okay, Vest is stopping now. Okay, mate, final lap. Keep your concentration and let's bring it home. Ah, fantastic drive. That's just fantastic. Amazing. You deserved that race win. Well done, mate.
Well, what a drive that was to take the win for Ferrari today. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, they certainly stood out as a drive with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari, do it again. Let's have a look then at the driver's standings. It's a great result for Yuki Tsunoda, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
I have to give it to Daniel.
Let's move on to the constructors. It was a tough race for our championship leaders, who lose ground at the top of the table. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
OK, we've had the new parts come through the fabrication process. We'll have them with us for the next Grand Prix.